Hi all, welcome to Dragon's Cave and welcome to Claire's Crafty Corners Summer Collaboration. This one is going to be done in quite a few stages, I think. I've got some nice new things I want to try. But I am going to go off, mix up my resin and be right back. I've got my resin mixed up now. Oops, out of focus. There we go. So I've only got about 50 grams here, which I'm hoping will be enough to go around the side. I have got a little more mixed up if I need it. I'm going to use this pearlescent fruit green, if I can make it focus. There we go. There we go. Doesn't matter. It's acrylic pigment, which I got from Temu. Come on, focus. There we go. Got this from Temu. Here's a thought. Is it open? Yes, it is. I haven't used this one before, so I wasn't sure about that. Now, I don't know how much of this I'm going to need, so I'm going to start off with a few drops. Oh, all right. That was a big squirt. So this is what happens when you think the bottles are harder than they are. And this is quite blobby. So I think this is going to take a bit of mixing. It said it was for resin. When I ordered it, it doesn't look like it's going to work very well though, does it? It's quite unpleasant actually. So I'm going to keep stirring. I'll be back when I've got this into a state, or I've thrown it away, that it's actually usable. And I will see you in a sec. Bye. Well, I sort of got it mixed in. I put it through my resinous stand mixer. It still looks revoltingly gritty, but I'm going to go in with this mica powder. I hate wasting resin. I can't afford to waste resin apart from anything else. So this mica powder was part of a set that I also got from Temu. Doesn't have a name on it. It's very nice green. Although how it'll interact with that acrylic pigment, and nobody knows. I suppose we'll find out when it comes to the demold. So it looks like it's all mixed in now. And I just want this around the edge. I'm not sure if I've mixed enough, but if not, I do have some more on the side. Not over here as well. Otherwise we could be here all day. I'm trying not to make a mess. And that in itself would be a miracle for me, to be honest. There we go, just went over the edge anyway. Alright, well I mixed up far too much, as you can probably tell. And I'm going to give that an hour or so to degas, then I'm going to pop it on the heat mat. And I will be back when we're ready for the next part. See you in a bit. Hi all, this is fully set now. So we're ready to move on to the next part. Now I've got these gorgeous flowers that resin has, excuse me, resin has sent me with the mixer. I'm going to put some of these in yeah, summer. I always kind of associate, for some reason, red flowers with summer. Oh, red and pink. Before we get to that, I'll need to mix up some resin, so I'm going to need some gloves. Ta-da! Got them. Right, so I've got probably too much in here. I'm not even sure how much it is because I mixed up a larger batch. I was doing other things as well. Looks like it's going to be about the right amount because I need to leave space for a back coat as well. So let me see which ones I want to use. What I should have done is laid this out really in there before I... I've got to put something on there to hold that down. Right. I'm going to start with this one because it's really pretty. Dig out my pokey stick from where I buried it. The flowers will always float, and most of them will trap bubbles. Tissue. That one while I see what else I'm going to use. Oh, let's have another one at the other side. Another one the same at the other end. I'll have to babysit this for a while to check for the bubbles. I'm trying to get at this really nice big one that's here in the middle, but dried flowers are so fragile. This is a rose. At least the back tells me it's a rose. It doesn't look much like one from the front. That's going to go right there. I'm pressing from the middle out so that I can push out any air bubbles that might be under it. This one's quite a bit thicker than the others, but the resin will get over it eventually. I don't want to kind of overdo it, but I think I'm going to just add these pretty little white ones here and here. And I'll put a little bit of greenery behind. Right. So a little bit of greenery behind. I'm going to cut this down a little. And have that there. And I had another one of those, but oh, there it is. It's kind of roughly the same size. Have that going the other way. I want to kind of hide the ends of it behind the rose. And I will be back. See you in a sec. Well, this has had about half an hour now. It's quite warm here today, so I'm hoping it'll set up quite quickly because I don't want to have to move it onto the heat mat in case it disturbs everything. I only have about half an hour before I have to go and do something else anyway. But what I wanted to put behind this, and I'm really hoping I'm not going to screw the whole thing up now, is when I was in Lidl last week, I saw this. It's actually a copper mesh, which apparently is a natural snail repellent. And it comes in a roll. So I used an old tray that I'd made with this mould as a rough guide, and I have cut it out in double thickness. I've got 2 layers here, except it's all tangled over itself. And I'm just going to put it in there. Now this is going to take a little bit of pushing down, and obviously I didn't trim quite as well as I thought I had, but it does stretch. But because it does tend to, bits break off and fly everywhere when you cut it, so I don't want to have to trim it until this is set, because otherwise I'm going to end up with bits in here. And I'm kind of annoyed with myself now because I thought I had done such a good job of cutting this to the right size. You can kind of bunch it up a bit as well. Maybe I hadn't fully stretched it when I cut it. And maybe, just maybe, I'm going to get it where I want it to be. This is going to need a bit of babysitting to make sure these ends stay down. I've got roughly half an hour before I need to be out. I don't think I'm going to be able to get that corner in. Kind of bunching it up as best I can, but it does not want to go down. Oh, how annoying. Yeah, for the short amount of time I have available, I'm going to sit here and keep poking and prodding and hoping for the best. Try and keep this end down. Not the end of the world if it curls up, it's just not going to look as nice. So close to getting that end in there. Right, I'm going to keep fiddling, keep an eye on it, and I will be back when we're ready to do the background. See you later. Hi all, this is completely set now. Now I did have a big bubble there, but I've managed to kind of cut it open so the resin will go into it. Suppose I should have put some UV in there, but I didn't. Anyway, so final layer, I'm going to go with this pale green. I'm not sure if it's pale enough, but it's the palest one I've got. If I don't think it's too dark, then I will add some just white mica powder to it. I think it'll be okay. Got my little stick. I've only got about 50, maybe 60 grams here. Resin Pro Eye Crystal. I think that will do. Give it some encouragement to get out to the edges. So before I completely top this off, I'm going to move it over onto my heat mat. Won't switch the heat mat on just yet. So it needs to get this time to degas. Then I will pop it up and I will be back when we're ready for the demold. See you in a bit. Hi all, it's demolding time. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how this copper wire holds up in resin. Looked okay before I put the back coat on, and I'm hoping it still does. The mold itself is quite badly marked. That's partly the UV resin that's been used in it and just general age really. So this will probably need a top coat, but let's have a look. Oh wow, that turned out really well. You got a bit of a strange effect here where the mesh was kind of warped and it went up the other way. Got a few little bubbles. See if I can tilt that for you to see under the flowers. Not unexpected. I'm going to give this a top coat of UV resin. It needs to be a very thin coat because otherwise you lose the depth in the tray. Just going to carpet tray. I need to sit down so I can see the angle to get into where the bubbles are so I don't trap any more bubbles. So start with that. Pop the big bubbles that came out of the bottle. Now, I need to go in where the bubbles are. Okay, quick run over with my long neck lighter again, just to make sure I haven't introduced any more bubbles. Then I'll get this under the UV light and I will get you some photos. Hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget, check out the playlist. I'm sure there will be loads of fantastic artists in there. There usually are. And I will see you all for the next one. Bye.